Twin Cities students get a bit of a welcome party as a new school year begins. That's one of the things you need to know to start your day for Thursday, August 21st. I'm Ryan Denham, and this is WGLT's The Leadoff. Now let's lead off with students at Oakland Elementary in Bloomington getting a warm welcome from school staff and parents from their community. The Promise Council Caring Adults program is visiting nearly 20 schools from both Unit 5 and District 87. WGLT's K-12 correspondent Braden Fogerson has the story.
Have a good school. You're welcome back, guys.
Oakland Elementary School students saw quite the surprise when scores of parents and teachers greeted students with high fives and well wishes as they walked into school. Wendy Bach is the mother of two students who had no idea the event was happening today.
They enjoy seeing all the people. They love the clapping. They love the bubbles. They need the encouragement in the first week of school to know that they're welcome.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Barry Riley is the executive director of the Promise Council. He says the Promise Council aims to remove some of the barriers that keep students from being successful in school.
And over the course of the year, we may be asked to support a kid who needs to get some dental work done, needs to get a pair of shoes, or can't afford to go on a field trip. So the Promise Council steps in to fill gaps, and our community supports that, and so we're very excited.
Riley says this morning's event leads to success because it builds students' self-esteem.
Because I know when the kids go into this building and all of the buildings here in McLean County, the staff is going to build relationships with those kids and treat them in a way that's going to help build that self-esteem, and that in turn is just going to make success much more likely.
Leslie Blockman is principal of Oakland Elementary. She says it's a good way to show students that teachers and school staff support them.
Our kids deal with so much here in this community, and we want them to know that there's people that love them, support them, and we want them to show up every day because this is a place where we care about them.
The Promise Council will continue to visit Bloomington-Normal schools until September 15th. I'm Braden Fogerson.
The first Unit 5 students to receive this treatment are the kids at Glen Elementary this morning. Here's some other stories we're following in the WGLT newsroom. Colleen Canaday, the president of Carl Broman Medical Center in Normal and Carl Eureka Hospital, has announced plans to retire next year. She's led both hospitals for over a decade. The regional superintendent of schools for McLean and neighboring counties, Mark Jontry, will also retire at the end of his term in 2027 instead of seeking re-election. Jontry says he's endorsing current assistant regional superintendent Molly Allen when she runs for the elected seat next year. And authorities have identified the man who died in a house fire in the 1300 block of West Elm Street this week. It was 63-year-old Randall Clockingay of Bloomington. The coroner says preliminary findings do not indicate foul play. You can find more on these stories at WGLT.org. The Trump administration's swift and aggressive use of executive power has triggered countless legal challenges in the courts. That increased scrutiny and polarization is certain to impact public perception of attorneys, judges, and the legal institutions in which they operate. Also taking notice are the young people considering a career in the legal profession. Amelia Burgess is the new director of Illinois State University's Legal Studies program, and she has a unique view of how this unusual moment is playing out.
And it's been interesting to me. I looked at some of the data, and according to the Law School Admission Council, for this incoming year of law schools, applications were up around 21%. So it is telling us that something about the current climate, the current conversation about the law, is increasing interest among people in becoming attorneys and going to law school. There are a number of theories as to why. And I think generally one that probably is true is that we have seen a lot more media coverage of legal proceedings. People are more aware of how the law impacts their daily lives. They've seen how the law can be used as a tool to do things either they agree with or disagree with, right? And they've seen how, under our system of law and this concept, this philosophical concept of the rule of law, that we need people who know how the legal system works.
We've seen instances where lawyers have been praised for upholding the law, and others where their actions have been highly criticized in the public sphere. What do you think the attorney's role should be in shaping and maintaining public trust in the legal system, especially like at this moment when political divides are so stark?
One of the things that can be very helpful in growing public confidence in the legal system, which is essential, right? There has to be confidence that justice is able to be equal to everyone, right? That is essential for our system to function. So I think that one thing that attorneys can and have been focusing on, and the courts have been focusing on, is helping to educate the public about what lawyers do and do not do, what courts do and do not do. One of my favorite programs that the Legal Studies program and the Department of Politics and Government puts on each year is we invite the 4th District Court of Appeals to come do an argument on campus. Right? It's a real case. It has real attorneys. It has real justices of the Illinois appellate courts, so that students and members of the public can come see how it actually works. And I think it's an interesting experience for students because they're learning how courts sometimes can have a very restrained role and sometimes have a much broader role, right? Because oftentimes the appellate court is asking, putting it very basically or very fundamentally, is asking, was there a fair process? And so students are learning it gives the students and members of the public the opportunity to understand that they may not agree with the court's outcome, but if they have better understanding of the process and the constraints that are sometimes placed on the court, they can respect its decision.
How is this moment playing out within the legal studies program? Are students and faculty having discussions about what's going on in any kind of current way? Are these things shaping discourse in classes?
It is. It is to some extent, right? Because we can't escape what's happening in the outside world. And also, students are very interested in what is happening. They're interested in finding out why. They see something and they say, this doesn't make sense to me, related to a court proceeding or a court case. And they want to understand it more. So we can have those conversations.
That's Amelia Burgess, the new director of Illinois State University's Legal Studies program. You can read or listen to the rest of our conversation at WGLT.org. And before we let you go, the Normal Township Board meets tonight at 6 for its monthly session. That's happening at the Township Hall on Mulberry Street. And that's it for today. I'm Ryan Denham, and the show is produced by Cheyenne Brown. You can subscribe to The Leadoff on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.